In the world of the Trivium, love isn't a choice. It's a weapon. We're talking enemies to lovers, deep-seated vendettas, and a romance that is as ruthless as it is obsessive. Let's dive into why this Trivium world is so addictive. This time around, I'm reviewing Vow to Ruin by Ostling Elizabeth. What is your favorite mafia romance trope? Now, for this one, it was given all the mafia cliche tropes, in my opinion. You know, you've got your ruthless male, your power dynamics, your tension and chemistry, enemies to lovers, or in this case, it was lovers to enemies to lovers. And then you've got your, what was it? Arranged marriage and close proximity. So I found myself reading the first chapter of this book, and I was just like, come on, speed up so that we can get to Lily and Sebastian's first encounter after a decade of being apart. We find Lily. She is on her way to fulfill a contract that will change her life and basically just eliminate her debts with the Trivium altogether. And we find out that the Trivium, in my opinion, is like the Freemasons, but they control the darkest, shadiest corners of the world, and they just deal in very shady behavior. And this is something that Lily has found herself in the middle of. And Sebastian is no stranger to this, and he needs this contract, which is to make her his wife, so that he can take up a seat with the Trivium and relieve his family of their debts. So I guess when you are married, when you coerce someone to marry you and you own them, that gives you more power in this world. So Lily and Sebastian's history that goes beyond the Trivium, but into university. Well, so we know it goes into their university stint where they actually dated briefly. Well, I mean, Sebastian still remembers their time together. He just looks at it fondly, and he thought that she was the one, though they barely knew each other and they hadn't even kissed. Well, a series of unfortunate allegations basically just end up breaking them apart. But to see that Sebastian is going to be her husband after a decade of them not having any contact was just such an interesting premise to me for the story. Really intrigued me. Well, at this point, while Lily and Sebastian were at university, like I said before, there were a series of allegations and just like scathing things that happened. Like she thought he did something and said something about her, and he thought she did that to him, and it really messed up his plans in his life, but it also messed up her plans as well. And, you know, now that they're thrust into this marriage together, they both have these vendettas against them, but Lily she can't deny how her body reacts to him and how she feels about him. So Lily is blue-eyed blonde, and she's property of the Trivium. We don't really know a lot about her until mainly the end of the book. We know she's an orphan, and that's basically how she got into the university, through a program for orphans, but we don't know much. I'm not going to give it away. We find out some things at the end. But I think that she's assertive, and I loved that it surprised me. I was like, oh, okay, so she's not a timid female in this story, which I really appreciated. She's assertive and she's a little sassy, and I hope that we see more of this in the second book, especially among intimidating men. Sebastian, he's a businessman that deals in helping people who have been trafficked and sold to the black market. His reputation is that he's ruthless and he rains down bloodshed, but I just how do you keep this a secret? I don't think it's a secret. I don't think so. I think it's like a best kept quiet understanding of him. And he has a vendetta against Lily and the Trivium. I identified these conflicts. The first one would be Lily and Sebastian finding out the truth about each other, that they really weren't behind all those things that happened in university. Lily and her friend basically being used by the Trivium and being kidnapped and assaulted. Sebastian heading an investigation against a Trivium member that ended up backfiring on him and Lily. Vow to Ruin by Austin Elizabeth is a story that focuses on dark themes and also sheds light on an organization full of nefarious men that are pulling the strings in society. I think this is the premise for a lot of dark romances, but this one really didn't have much of a romance until the end between Lily and Sebastian. And when we finally got there, it was awkward. It had been awkward the whole time. So I just hope that Elizabeth builds that out in the second book. There's some repetition and the story reads slow at times. There's also some errors. Now the author, she does say in one of her disclaimers that she's English and she does use English phrases. I don't think that the errors had to do with any of those phrases. I think that it was just verbiage that was confusing and it could have been reworded or just taken out completely. I am not sure if I will read the second book. This is my first time reading a book by Elizabeth, and yeah, I'm not sure. To be honest, the beginning of the book and to the middle were boring. It was very boring, anticlimactic. There really wasn't much dark mafia going on in this story. I thought this was going to be hella dark and traumatize me. I was not traumatized at all. It was a little bit more like soft dark, in my opinion. But, maybe I'll read the second book. But Lily and Sebastian's romance, like how it was starting to take shape, only happened near the end of the book, where Lily was starting to see him differently. And I'm like, maybe I want to read the second book just to see how that pans out. So we'll see. But for now, I was going to give it lower stars in my rating. But fortunately, the book picked up in a major way, gave us a lot of answers, but at the end, like middle to end, like not even middle, like more so to the end, where we got a lot more information and just action, and we got to see who Sebastian really is, and like Lily also got to see who he really is as well, finally. So I give this 3 peppers, and I gave it 3 peppers because we got immediate spice in the beginning between Lily and Sebastian, but it was coerced. I think that the dark themes in this story got in the way of a budding romance. And there was also a miscommunication trope, but I do think it was more of a sabotage trope than a miscommunication. So this is a controversial take as a reader and as an author. I originally gave this 3 stars, and I gave it 3 stars because it was boring. The beginning was very boring, and I was kind of let down because I thought that the blurb was really great, but I didn't really see that same vibe, or it didn't feel that same vibe in the first half of the book. But then Elizabeth got me because the middle to the end picked up, gave us answers that I wasn't expecting to get so soon, and also saw Sebastian differently, and that also helped Lily see him differently. So I changed my rating to a 4-star rating. So yes, might be generous, but I mean, I did have to step away from the book for a little bit to read other things, or, to kind of give myself a palate cleanser. And there were some errors in the book, some repetition. It did make me pause, but for some reason, I just kept coming back. So that says a lot. But I have to say also the writing got better near the end of the book. So, Argue with me if you want. Leave your opinions in the comments. But I changed it to a 4-star rating. I do recommend that you read Vow to Ruin by Osling Elizabeth, only if there's a second book. I think that we need more information, and it can't be left the way that it is. It just can't be. But I do hope that you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to support indie authors with me. Subscribe for more recs and reviews just like these. Thank you so much. Goodbye.